Hello everyone, I'm Brian Croydragon and welcome back to Vox Adventures. Here we are. Somewhere basically continuing from my nightly adventures. So what can we talk about? Finished watching In Search of Human Origins on the Internet Archive. Yeah, I was really putting off on finishing that because, well, the preview for the third and final part, didn't really seem that interesting. I mean, first part about Lucy, the Australopithecus and her kind. Second part, I couldn't really tell, but it was still about a prehistoric ape man, we shall say. In this case, Homo habilis. But of course, I wouldn't have known that from the preview at the end of the first one. The third, yeah, there was really nothing to discern that it would cover prehistoric humans. There was no evidence of Homo erectus being covered, no evidence of Neanderthals being covered. And they were, but it was primarily modern humans, our journey from Africa to other continents. So it was a little bit different. Oh, jeez. Hmm. Probably gonna be watching another documentary on the Internet Archive very soon. Was able to find one narrated by Keith David. Yes, that Keith David, voice of Goliath, the Arbiter, you know, the famed Shakespearean actor. It's a National Geographic documentary. It's called Lions of Darkness. I quite like Keith David. He's a very good actor. And the thing about him voicing Goliath is that with him portraying the character, you knew he wasn't going to be overshadowed by anyone else. I mean, I know there was... I mean, obviously, John Rhys Davies had a recurring role as Macbeth. And he was probably one of the few actors on the show who was equal to Keith David. And it's funny that I bring up John Rhys Davies because he pretty much steals the show in the Indiana Jones movies he's in. But in Raiders of the Lost Ark, boy, does he really get the... No way, in both Raiders and Last Crusade, boy, does he really get the... does Harrison Ford really get the show stolen from him? In Raiders of the Lost Ark, you had Alfred Molina in his theatrical debut. And of course, you had John Rhys Davies as Salah. You had Denholm Elliott as Marcus. And of course, Denholm Elliott was a man well known for stealing the scene. And then by Last Crusade you had Julian Glover as our villain of the hour, and you had Sean Connery as Indiana Jones's father. All of whom, both of whom also stole the show. But as much as I bring up Julian Glover, my favorite Indiana Jones villain is Irina Spalko from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. If she's good enough for Spielberg, she's good enough for me, and let's face it, she is a good change of pace from the others. I mean, yeah, there's obviously the case that she's a female main antagonist, but there's also the fact that instead of coming from a western country or an eastern country like Mola Ram, due to Russia being Eurasian, both a part of Europe and Asia. Yeah, we get a bit of both from her. Excuse me. I mean, there's a bit more I could say, but I don't know. Honestly, if I were to write something Indiana Jones inspired, I'd probably go more the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Maybe go for an 1860s setting. And speaking of an 1860s setting, done some replanning for the adventures of Alexander the Caracol as a single story, and going to set it in 1869, because let's face it, the Fenian Raids is less depressing a setting than World War II. Even though it was, no, right. World War II was 1939 to 1945. The Fenian Raids was 1866 to 1871. Shorter by a year. Didn't have the entire world plunged into war. Jeez, it really is less depressing, isn't it? But I just really wanted a Victorian setting for a less story. Because, yeah, the more I thought about it, I wasn't feeling the 1940s, especially not during World War II. Between the two wars, which is less depressing, the Fenian Raids or around World War II? Yeah, for goodness sake. Excuse me. I don't know why the 1860s keeps popping up in relation to my stories, but I don't know, I work with it. I mean, obviously with the case of doing something Indiana Jones inspired, I don't want to recover, I really don't want to cover the same ground that has already been covered, which is pretty much the entirety of the 20th century. Because keep in mind, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles had a framing device with a owned indie played by George Hall in the 1990s, and there were even stories featuring him as a child. So before 1910, even when he was born in 1899. So yeah, some of it really, yeah, it just really came from not wanting to cover the same ground. Hmm. 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 Oh. Okay, then. Well, it looks pretty good right now. It's supposed to be pretty rainy this week. It's supposed to be pretty rainy yesterday, but of course it didn't rain at all yesterday. It did Saturday, of course. But it looks good right now. Maybe later in the day. Where are we going? If I was to... Well, Lafrenian raids would be my indie-inspired characters in World War One. As for we'll call him Casey after my own dog. His answer to the Nazis would be Lamadists. So yeah, you know, Lamadist War. Rather than the Soviets, it would be the Boers from the Second Boer War. You get the idea. Oh, for God's sake. Because the character of Indiana Jones was born in 1899, yeah, there's portions of the early 20th century that's not really touched by the Indiana Jones franchise. I picture Casey as having been born in 1853, so he'd be quite a bit younger than Indiana Jones in comparison to you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark and all that. In relation to the Maddists, he'd be in his 20s, while by the time of Last Crusade, Indiana Jones was 39. Yeah, it's important to try and not cover the same ground. If you're going to do something inspired by Indiana Jones, for God's sake, do something different. It doesn't have to be Nazis, it doesn't have to be Soviets, you don't even have to include aliens. And for your information, aliens were in the Indiana Jones franchise long before Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I don't have a problem with them, but yeah, try and not cover the same ground. I am of course referring to the comic book adaptation of Fate of Atlantis. Yeah, aliens have been in the franchise since before Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Soviets too, I just can't remember the comic book storyline. Or was it one of the video games? Whichever case, aliens and Soviets, they were in the franchise before Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The only reason people are complaining about it is because they only know the movies. I mean, the only reason they complain about it is that they only know the movies. They don't know anything beyond that. Guinevere buried at Glastonbury? Okay, Len. Hold on, let me finish this paragraph. Hmm. How old was I when I first watched an Indiana Jones movie? Oh, I don't know. The character debuted in 1981. That was 11 years before I was born. My family had the VHSs for Raiders and Last Crusade. Now we have the DVDs for films 1 through 4. I don't know. Probably as 5 maybe? Might have been 5. I mean, with Raiders of the Lost Ark having a 14A rating here in Canada, I question my parents' judgment. But then again, Jurassic Park The Lost World is of the same rating. And of course I had the VHS for that. Now I have the DVD. If you're curious, the other films, you know, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, all rated PG. Why is Raiders of the Lost Ark the only one to be rated 14A? I have no idea. People call Temple of Doom the darkest, but what were Spielberg and Lucas doing that Raiders got a 14A rating up here? I mean, I know it's not... I mean, I know my country's not I mean, I know Indiana Jones is from America and this is Canada, but still, why is that one so special? To get a 14A rating. Yeah, boy. Yeah, the Jurassic Park films, yeah, they're similar. Jurassic Park PG, Lost World 14A, Jurassic Park 3, PG, Jurassic World, PG, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom 14A when I went to see it in the theater, bumped down to PG when it was released for a home release. I've no idea. Dominion also PG. The Burton Schumacher Batman series, Batman PG, Batman Returns 14A, Batman Forever PG, Batman and Robin PG. Okay, I can understand Batman Returns being 14A. I don't know, it's just like some franchises have that odd film. Like, all of them get the PG rating, but then there's the one that gets a higher rating. Nice lighthouse. Yeah, and it's weird in the case of Indiana Jones, because unlike Batman or Jurassic Park, it wasn't the second movie in the franchise, it was the first. It's just really, really weird. Oh, and if you're curious about the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, they are all rated PG. They all got the PG rating. And bringing up the DCEU, it's a pretty mixed bag. It's either PG or 14A, depending on the film. Suicide Squad, 14A, Man of Steel, PG, Aquaman, PG, Wonder Woman, PG. Dawn of Justice, actually 14A with the with the director's cut. Director's Cut Extended Edition, however you want to phrase it. Making that specific franchise the more inconsistent. Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies all rated 14A. His Hobbit films all rated PG. So at least it's kind of consistent. Oh, jeez, why am I even talking about that? I'm going into the rating system, all because of the rating that Raiders of the Lost Ark has compared to the other movies. I don't know. Probably my Asperger's syndrome at work, but yeah, if you found that interesting. I mean, in all honesty, in the rating system, new ratings might have been applied. I don't know. Maybe Raiders of the Lost Ark is actually considered PG now. jeez. Skeletons. Why must you attack me? I like Ray Harryhausen's movies. Do a little bit of reading. That's enough reading for now. I'll do a bit reading later. I'll do a bit of reading later. And that would be all for today. I'm Brian Croydragon signing out. Stay straight.